All right, guys, how we doing? We are back. Let me just drag this screen across so you can see my other chart. We got the 10-minute chart here. We're seeing what we want to see. Down close wick, fully bullish engulfing. We're going to look to take longs now. Implementing harder rules to keep the risk same size. We're looking to see if we can get a pullback as usual. Ideally, these volume imbalances in here. If we just bounce off here, I'll have a stop order ready. We're going to start small with the risk. I've been noticing I get in too heavy at the start. Being fully transparent, last episode did end up trading the US session. We did ride a massive wave down. I was really hyped. I didn't record myself yesterday, ended up trading, overtraded, gave back a fair bit of the profits that we made the day before. I think we were up about 2.9K, which was brilliant, just taking the 150K combine. But yeah, unfortunately, I haven't really got too much to show for it. We have the confirmation candle we want, just waiting for a pullback into one of these zones. It's looking about 50% of this move. Yeah, it's that green line, and we've got a smack bang, unintentional, but right on the 50. So that's where we'd be looking to take this long if we can get filled here. We've still got 62, which is just under, and we have this nice spot and this volume imbalance. I'm not too worried if this starts running away from me, if it just wants to fly. We're just being patient. I want to try to use limits and where things are already set out, unless we're taking liquidity and we're adjusting stops. Even with that, there's a set rule we're using. All right, so we had a nice reaction. If we close bullish, we put the stop order in, but if we react off here, push lower, that works too. Take the bottom of our limit bar, get a better position. Going to define our Asian session range. Don't know why it keeps going to my local time. Asia ends here. It's probably Asia high right now. And I guess this is nice about having the limits. Like I don't need to stress about being filled. There's an anxiety and stress in not wanting to miss out. It's nice to be able to chill out and have this to distract myself. We got Asian session high there. 20 is here, so we've got Asian session low. We haven't come below 50% of the Asian range. Usually indicates bullish strength. We've already taken the Asian session high after midnight, and it's looking like we're running back up. Just gonna keep my eyes on the 5-minute chart. As we saw, the 5-minute isn't as respected as the 10 or 15-minute. So see how this 15-minute wants to close, looking like it's gonna be pretty bullish. So we already have confirmation enough to get in here. So we're just gonna start with one limit order. Leave this last one open if we want to tap into it. I think we look to push up from this point on. If we get that bullish closure above this on the 1, would be more likely, but I think I'm just going to stick to the 5 and the 10-minute time frames. And this way I'm not needing to monitor my charts as much. I can be doing other things. We'll check back in about 5-10 minutes. Okay, as an update, we did come down, get a better price, bouncing off this 62 retracement. I've entered 5 micros on the 50K count here. Stops at 130 under all these lows, under the Asian session low. We should be a little bit higher after yesterday's expansion higher. Should be expecting high prices. Add on the risk here at this 72, 79 retracement level. Ideally, we'd like to get a bullish closure. If you don't get that, we might be spooling to the downside. So happy to just wait, add on the risk. Check on this account. That's ideally what we want to do for a few more seconds. Be patient, take our time with it. If we get a bullish closure, add 3 more. Yeah, let's check this. We get filled in with our second position. And so yeah, if we can expand from taking out this, will double what we have. Thinking all-time highs today just because it's Thursday after yesterday's big move. I think we could expand way higher today. When I'm on a combine, I always put it at the max I can take for the day, which is 1,500 minus fees. So I'll probably jump up a little bit more. Just in case it wants to absolutely floor, I think I cut myself short of trades. Let's say it explodes, doesn't have to get to this crazy high target, but let's say it does. I'm better off, especially where I am in Australia where it's 2 a.m. when US session is starting. I'm better off just leaving a massive target, especially on a combine. Stops in profit, not just break even. It would suck to be close, like 1,400, and then it reverses. In a decent area of profit, leave everything, go to bed, and just the market wants to get there, will get there, and you get rewarded for that patience. So That's the plan on the combines. On the funded accounts, it's more finicky. Sometimes that's what lets me down. The funded account is a combine, and I use the same rules, but I've got to remember that they're very different things we're trying to do here. So honestly, if we come down, respect this, and buyers get involved on this volume imbalance, I'm trying to see where the invalidation lows. I think I've got my stops in places which isn't part of my plan. I did that yesterday, and that's what let me down when I wasn't filming. It's okay if it's a little below. There's volume imbalance in here. Maybe rather than putting stops here on the fly, we adjust to just here. Give it a little room. There's a few extra dollars on the table, but you give yourself this chance. Having it down all the way is not part of the plan. Using the 15-minute lows is where I'm going to be at. So ideally, we go from the swing low before this big upward move started. We had this wick, this engulfing candle with the body above 50%. And so stops could typically, I'll get rid of this is my wick CE on the 15-minute. So ideally our body on this candle on this next 5 minutes doesn't close at 50% of this wick. But yeah, this was the entry candle that confirmed we've wicked all this liquidity, drawn up, and got a body closing above. Stops should actually be at this low right here. We have already gone and wicked it as well. Typically, this should probably be it because this is the stop that wicked all of this out. Stops through here. And again, we're just going to keep adjusting every 5-10 minutes because you never know when it could turn. I think that's what got me yesterday. I was up a significant amount, as I normally am when I'm risking big size. It's not hard to be in profit. And it's not hard to be at a loss either. It's just what you do when you're at both ends. And I wasn't managing. So glad to be back today at the right time. And yeah, just getting involved on what we said we'd get involved with. Again, I'm gonna note the 2 a.m. New York time start. I'm gonna run it today, and I'm also gonna run it tomorrow. I was talking to my wife about this, and she's like, you change your rules quite frequently. You don't really stick to one, see it out, and then see what can be improved on about that. So I respect her for calling me out. I want to come to the charts at 2 as I have been doing this whole week. Do it today and tomorrow and see the results. We had a win Tuesday, loss yesterday. I didn't turn up at 2. I came to the charts earlier. So that's hard to include in the data. I want to stick to that at least so I have 3 days that I can compare and just see from those 3, like, am I winning more coming at 2 or do I take 2 losses, 2 losing days, 1 green day? So we will wait and see. This will be day 2 of arriving at 2. And if I take more losses, I think just coming at 3, because potentially 3 o'clock again, like Tuesday, could come sweep this liquidity. We could push for the Asian session low before we start pushing up higher. We haven't closed above it yet. That is something to note. We've wicked it, nobody closed us. It really would need to happen in the next 30 minutes. Otherwise, this looks invalid. And if it pushes down at 3, then we know. Just block it out. If you've had losing days with it and you're seeing a pattern, it's just probably not part of your strategy. Maybe if you come at 2 and expect either session, expecting the low to be taken, whatever strategy works for you. But this is looking like a nice reaction from this spot. We'll check the funded account. We'll sit and got pulled up a bit higher, but that's okay. I think 8 is a decent amount to be working with, so we'll just stops to the same level. Maybe even just on this swing line that took out this confirmation candle. That should be enough. If we're taking out this low, chances are we're running this as well. Being at all-time highs and yesterday being a typical weekly profile, I missed it because I was just holding on to my bias. But so typical. You have the Monday, which is the move away from the overall move of the week. You have Tuesday, which goes and sweeps Monday's low, which usually fakes out people for the rest of the week. Faked me out this week. Got me good that we were going to be pushing a lot lower. But then usually Wednesday, so today is the 12th, right? Yesterday was the 11th. We had the 10th here. Tuesday, taking past Monday's low. Look at this rejection on the hourly. Body's not even closing below the previous candle. We have this massive wick. I was like, okay, we're probably refilling and then dumping. No, we did not. But that's okay. You can never call that. But I should know from my weekly profiles and sticking to that because that's what's been working really well in the past. Just sticking to that weekly structure, pushing down, grabbing some liquidity to go high for the rest of the week. Looking at it from a weekly perspective, it's like looking at these setups in big candles, but it's all fractal on different time frames. So that's pretty cool. So we should see that Wednesday was a big move. Thursday, more than likely, I'm thinking it probably makes a little bit more sense that we run all this. I've got a swing low here though. Not too sure, to be honest. I think the risk, we've kept it at a reasonable amount on all accounts. So that's really fine in comparison to our daily loss. I'm happy with that. If we push a little bit lower, we can look for an opportunity maybe to get back in. But then there is this fear of it coming all the way down here as well. We haven't seen enough evidence of that we have actually flipped. But if we get a closure below here, it's probably a pretty good indication on the hourly that we're at least going to hunt for even this low or down in here. Just trying to be flexible on both sides, really. Not trying to pick a direction and be like, it's going here and I'm some guru. Let's just see what the market's doing and accommodate that. I've done my management for the time being. Just checking my 5 and 10 minute charts. This is probably the more important one, so I'm gonna leave this one running more than these other ones, but we'll still have these that we're checking on as well. All right, cool. See you guys in 5:10. All right, back. First loss, top loss taken here. Ran all this liquidity. More than likely looking for Asian low. Maybe we bounce off this pocket. We will wait and see. It's just one of those things where same thing on these combines. Really pumping for Asian session low right before 3. We'll just wait and see whether we blast through or turn around and look for the longs. Give it some time, come back and see. Okay, so I'm actually going to flip my bias here. And the reason being, I've just added the volume indicator, checked on my trading view screen, swept Asian session highs, and the candle with the most volume on the 5 minute is this down close candle here. After a nice wick pushing up, a lot of sellers are involved. Whether people exit their positions down here will be quite telling. But until we're seeing volume of around this size to the upside, I think I'm still going to stay with the short-term trend here. That'll be the plan anyway. And just see what the market wants to do. So if I was going to be short, I'd be looking for something like this. Oh, that's all filled. So we've hit 3 o'clock now. This will be interesting. We're pushing up. Happy to take this trade. Risk 3 to hit 130. See if we respect this or blast through. Probably need to watch on a lower time frame. Tapped in here. Just going to move my stops to this high. If we want to run it, then this will be an indication that we might be flipping bullish. A lot of momentum on the 1 minute, taking out the downside. My buy should be flipping bullish here. Let's wait and see. I think the 5 is going to be a bit more telling, but looking at how much volume we already have right now, right up the open. Let's have a look. If we flood back down and this flips red, then we know we're still on. So we'll leave this. Stops should have been at this high. Let's see. If it pushes us out, I'm glad we didn't take this on the funded, just on the combines. Risk is small, so I'm happy we're not deploying a lot of capital in high risk moves, but this is looking great. We'll look to get in on a long, see if we can come back. Got volume, momentum, it's 3 now as well.
Alright, so I want to try recording my post reaction. So as I'm editing, watching myself, actually taking some notes on how I've been trading, what I want to improve on. So what I'm seeing is like we've flipped bias 3 times, and that's due to not having a set plan. I think I've rushed into this quite quickly. I've only really drawn Asian session high, Asian session low. I haven't done a top-down analysis, looked at a weekly perspective, as I did when I briefly zoomed out. And that should have let me know that based on Monday's big expansion, we're probably not going to get that reversal profile. If Monday is a heavy day, then we usually continue right through to the rest of the week. So that's on me, but it is what it is. As I said, I want to keep watching this, and then times where I can chime in and go, hey, that's not right, or hey, I actually do like that I did that. It's a bit more of a live reaction. So yeah, cool.
So maybe this will be the plan, just coming at 3 instead of 2 a.m. We're going to go small with the size, probably get in after this 5 minute candle closure. See where it wants to close. That'll be still important, so just going to wait, just be patient. Even if it starts jetting off, we'll just wait. It's good. At least it's confirming higher prices. Alright, so we have this Fibonacci drawn from this low to the high, looking like we might be making double top. We just pierced above. Ideally, we'd want to see this come back a little bit, but If we want to take the high, I think we'll just jump in on the main move. Risk 3 up here. I'll take this on the funded as well. But ideally, we want to be buying in around these areas here. 50%, 62. Ideally, bounce maybe off this FEG. If it aligns with the 5-minute, that's where we're going to be wanting majority of our position on. So we're going to take 5 in here. That's the 3-minute level. The 5-minute level. We want to see this 5 as well. Either we get the pullback. Let's see if we get it here. Take the same trade here. Ideally, we're wanting this here. If we're getting to this high, more than likely we're going to continue pushing up. Can add a bit more in our position as the confirmation. Because usually at these points, if we get there, we'll start to spool, taking out all the stops and pushing. Especially for the trend. Add 50% here to add 2, just in case we just bounce off 50. That's where we get to. Would indicate some good strength of bullish momentum as well, if that is the case. But more than likely, especially with these 5-minute FEGs and whatnot, might hang around there too. To be fair, the only thing I don't like is we didn't take the Asian session low. We got very close to it, but we still haven't taken it. So that is something to keep in mind. Looking like we, depending on this last minute candle wants to do, we close bearish quite here too. I'm just going to take the trade off. Take the loss, best loser wins, as Tom Hugard says. Looks like it's still going to punch through anyway. But now after dipping, if we come and close above, that's fine. Leave everything as is. Alright, so
It's sort of annoying me seeing how much I'm just flipping. There's no plan today on this day. And I think I just need to look back and see why that is. I think, to be honest, I was just wanting that payout. I was on day 14 of day 15. One more day and we're at payout. I think um, it might actually be an early episode. I really got to stay on top of my editing. So this is like for future me when I'm editing this back one more time to stay consistent with that because it really does make it hard to follow and then for everyone watching as well, you know. So thinking of everyone. But yeah, I'm just frustrated at how much I'm candy flipping with no plan, and that's just because I wanted that $200 to get that little bit closer, you know, rather than just waiting for the setup, and more than likely making potentially way more than that. So it is what it is.
back at that 50% level, we're going to close it out. I think we're going to push a little bit lower, and that way if we do floor, rather than having 7 contracts on. So here we are, we're at that 5-minute FEG. So if we get a reaction, we still got this volume, which is giving me a bit more reassurance that we're going to hold here. See on the micro time frames just how we're doing at this level. Nice reaction on the 30. That's going to warrant entry right in here. We can take this one off. Stops, I like where they're at under Asian session lows. Maybe at this original point that we had before. Yeah, under these swing lows in here. So there is still that volume imbalance, which it might come tap into and then run. So give ourselves some breathing room. I like the volume profile on this 5-minute. It's quite strong. It's almost as strong as this down close we were using as the reference point. But now seeing this, eclipsing it after 3, overall we're bullish, gives me more confidence. I'll add to this trade as well. Oh, we did get tapped in. Beautiful. I'm happy to take on a worse position on the combines here. So ideally, you still got that same plan. If you do want to push up above, you'll take it at the high. Give it enough room from the entry. The higher it is, obviously, the less it's going to impact on stops and things like that. So just waiting to see if we can get another 5-minute closure above here. I do think the 10-minute holds more value. The 5 levels can get ran, respect the 10 and keep going. So I'm just going to stick to the original plan. Watch the 10-minute, see how we go from there. Ideally in this last minute, especially on this 10-minute candle, if we can get a nice push up to look more bullish, have more momentum going into the next 10 minutes. Let's see, last 30 seconds here. That's a pretty good 10-minute closure. If we can close above this high, we'll adjust our stops to this low. Until then, let the trade do what it needs to do. Probably keep our eye on the 3-minute. I like the 3. It's a nice medium between the 5 and the 1. But it's still small enough that you're seeing what's happening on a sort of smaller time frame, but it's not long enough where you're, I don't know, itching and impatient and changing your trades and things like that. I like where everything is for the time being. Majority of the trade should be coming off. I think if we're at all-time highs and at the previous day high, it shouldn't be here. I think we will absolutely pump. Maybe just trying to find the logical level. where we might start to slow down at 880 or 888. So yeah, taking about half off at the previous day high. Again, to be honest, after just saying that, I don't think it makes sense. Because if we're at all-time highs, we should be pumping a lot higher. Set our TP here. We'll keep managing the trade from a lower time frame. Keeping the 5-minute here and the 10-minute on the other one. Get rid of this fib. Oop, and we'll just keep monitoring this. Being mindful of 4 o'clock having that reversal time frame as well. So we might not see that big pump until the US session. So I do just have to be mindful, continue watching these lower time frames to see if we get any changes in volume, market structure shift. And then that will be the indication to, yeah, trail stops accordingly. So let the trade do what it needs to do, come back in about 10 minutes. Okay, we're back. Had a crazy big downward move, so I did close out on our funded account. I still have the combine running at the entry area. I just didn't want this to fall, especially with that loss limit. I just realized was at sitting around 200, so it would have wiped us out for the rest of the day. So as soon as I saw it getting to about here, just decided to cut the trade. Again, just not being fearful of the loss. Sometimes you do have to lose the battle to win the war. With this much volume, and again competing here, but still not breaking this high, it does look likely that we might push lower before we do get higher. We do got a lot of spots to go for that as well. So again, just watching the 10-minute and sticking to what presents. We closed below the bodies. I'm just saying we still got another few minutes for this 10-minute candle. I just wouldn't want to see Asia session lows wick and then it bounces back. So just going to wait for that 4 minutes and see what price wants to do. So close to these Asian I'm just going to say ASL, so much easier. Still got this trade in it. Keep it at these lows here. That'll put us at about half for these accounts. If we take a loss here, we'll just wait and sit these ones out. On the combine, we're pretty much over halfway now. It's thunderstorming where I'm at. You can hear that. Yeah, pretty much at half point already on this one. There's a 5-minute candle which we're trying to use to go long, and then I just realized that it didn't even close. Probably, maybe it was a 15 actually. Yeah, it was this 15-minute candle here. So after seeing that, that should have really just geared my mind that we're probably going to take this out first before we push higher. So again, this is us getting faked out on the move to go long. The volume's got me sucked into. But time is the most important element, which I'm still drilling in my head, trying to figure out what works best. Even now, sitting in the charts from 2, we didn't do much consolidated, took a trade, went nowhere. It's not ideal. At least like 3 o'clock, 3:30, but ideally we should just be waiting for 4. Wait for the market open, let the volatility take out the liquidity and be part of the main move. So lessons that we learn, and we're still refining this process. I just really don't want to make this loss too deep, too heavy. That's the main thing I'm going to try to focus on today. So like that we've adjusted our risk accordingly, risking about 130 per trade, max loss 392, so 3 trades that we can take. We've definitely taken one at around that 130 mark and the other slightly under. So we do have a little bit under, probably half of that, 75 to go for this trade. I'll give myself. And then I'll switch up to the other accounts. The usual combines got 130 and the loss limit's a little bit lower as my drawdown's lower than what I have on my funded account. And I'm just going to leave the 150K for the time being. Just leave that for maybe US session. Especially if these sessions don't go too great, I hit my max loss limit, at least I've got another account for the US session. Just to keep honing on the craft, to keep working, to still have that, I guess, feedback loop. After doing this over and over again, you start to really recognize the pattern. Here we go. We're seeing this 10-minute closure now. I'm pretty strongly bearish. We're at Asian session lows, hovering around it. Steep candle. I'm going to wait for 4 o'clock. See the action. Unless we start spooling. If we can close below here, I'm happy to take a trade short. Following the volume as we approach 4, and just being mindful of 4. See how this 1 minute wants to go as well. If we just sweep this and then punch back bullish. It's a big thing watching if we close under Asian session low or hover around it. If we get a closure, I'm happy to run it, but let's have a look. It's shallow, so wait for one more. If we get past this low, then we're in. spot is back here. It's a decent exit point. Just watching on the higher time frames now, where could be the spot where we start to turn around. We'll check an hourly. We do have this hourly busy right here. We also have a bunch of this. So liquidity in there. Let's check in the 1 minute here. I think we might be offside once again here. Didn't close, but hey, session low on the 5. Did get the 1 minute closure though, so we'll wait and see. I'm not threatened just yet. Still have all of this backing us, but this could be Chop City. If this is the case, the way I'm trying to view it is this just builds bias in my mind to come to the charts at 4. So I'm running with it regardless. Seeing if 3 o'clock is the time. I think 2 is definitely out of the question for the time being. Just come at 3, especially for NQ. And see if 4 is better. But we haven't had a closure below, we're respecting this orange volume imbalance as well. So if we get a closure at least below Asian session or at least below this volume imbalance, that's going to give me more confidence that we could run lower. With the way NQ has been behaving, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a big move to go. But this hourly buy side, it's a 4-hour buy side as well. Whether we get all the way down here, it's unlikely. If we take our fib levels from this swing low to this swing high, we should be coming at about here. Get rid of these blue lines before we see buyers getting involved. If the run is strong, it might bounce off here and then go. But I do think that there is more room to the downside, more so than up, for where we're currently at. I'm just seeing if we've had any microstructure shifts on the hourly. We have wicked this low though. That's definitely something to. We are approaching the last 5 minutes before 4 o'clock. Hopefully, if we're pushing up, expecting that 4 o'clock reversal to continue to the downside. We see the displacement after taking Asian session highs. We've got pockets below to fill pre-news, and hopefully CPI, we continue running high. Oh, sorry, PPI today. I'm contemplating just cutting this and then looking to get in here. I think just to give us more capital. I'm going to cut it. Got 140 now to work with. We're just going to use this account on London. We're not going to trade US with the funded account. Go with the combines on that. We run it from this point here. Again, we're going to start small with the risk. And if we get the reaction we want to scale in. Really working on this. Even just then, as I was about to click the button, I wanted to go like 10 to make back all the 250, and even having to cut that as a loss pains you to do, but and then the initial reaction is let's get it back. But I just need to be chill. We haven't really been green today. We haven't really had a good read. So we'll add more and more on when clearly the evidence is showing that I'm not really too on side yet. It could just be a timing thing. Like the things that we have discussed are appearing. We're still taking Asian session lows, watching volume and displacement. We've had more volume than before. This was still valid considering that we had more volume than all of these candles previously. I still don't mind that. That's even on a 3 minute, but the 5 minute really is the chart. But even here, we have this reaction, this 5 minute completely engulfing the timing is super important. Maybe 3 o'clock isn't the right timing for us. Maybe 4 is that golden zone. Going back to what I said at the start of the video, this is what my wife was talking about and how much I changed my mind. Let's stick to this. So I think still show up at 2. Put maybe half an hour worth of mental capital in, see if anything's doing anything. At least in that time, we can draw up the charts. I have an idea, leave the charts, come back at 4 and trade. So that's what we're going to do. Still stick to the original word of coming at 2 for the rest of the week. And maybe that's just the plan. 2 o'clock is the time to come, see where we're going, and then at 4 we execute. We're going to see what the trade wants to do as we're approaching 4 and go from there. All right, we're here at 4 a.m. open right now. Market has just opened. See if we'll push up. Already got a lot of volume in this candle. This is a 1 minute. Checking on the 3. Let's see if we blitz past this. I might need to cut this trade quick and flip to the buy side. Wait for this closure. Seeing the volume stepping in. Could have been a sweep of Asia. Here's the pump to the upside. I'm out, flipping back to long. See if we can get a pullback into this region. It might run off without us. See if we get some retracement. Ideally, here would be our entry. Now I'm happy to take some decent size liquidity has been purged. We're seeing volume coming in, seeing if we can get down to this level. Just being patient, and we're in. We shouldn't take these lows now. I'm just looking for that push higher now. See if we get it on this closure on the 15. If so, we're adding more on. Have a look. Don't like that we've come all the way back down. I actually just double clicked and this might send us out. Oh man. Complete accident, misclick. Ah, that's frustrating. Ah, shouldn't have added on. It's tough and swallow. But yeah. At least we have these combines to run with. But that sucks. Especially on the funded too. Good old misclick. Price is random, struggling to get a read. Crazy price action, man. Crazy PA. And this 5 minute is gonna have similar volume to this candle. It's looking like, and then buyers look like they're stepping back up. Oh, that 5 is closed awful. This 3 minute, let's watch. Oh, it's bummed me out, but that's okay. Just started small with the risk. I always anticipated it going against you. Build up the habit on these accounts. Not a great day so far, but it's nice to be vulnerable and real with these trades and learn from that too. We'll take two in here. I like that reaction on the 3 minute. See if we can close above this volume imbalance here. Swept this low. Look to add two more. I'm still heavy on the rest because we've waited for the right time. We've seen what we need to see. Seen the displacement back to the upside. We're almost at ASIM session highs again. It's another two in there. We'll add more on. If we can get above this high, we can add more on. Very choppy price action today. Do you see like we're flipping? If we can get above these highs. Wow. What a drop. Reflecting on it, coming to the charts at 4, we would have had that one trade. Yes, the misclick. At least we wouldn't have used up all our bullets. I used up the bullets on where the target was moving too much. Even this target is still quite hard to hit until something clear pops up. It's all part of doing business. A little bit annoying. The 3 minute definitely would have told us that probably wasn't on. Same with the 5 minute. That was the initial plan, right? We were going to short here, but after we blasted through on a 1 minute, that's where I decided to get in. So yeah, this is looking nice. I'm going to go heavy on the short here. Shouldn't be coming up past this high. Just going to run it. This is our max limit until we can push down low and get in. Our stops are adjusted. But right now we're at max risk and I need to start looking at that. Even on that previous trade to get to 15, doubling it to get to 10. I was putting too much risk on for what I had left to lose. So that's something that I need to know, that sort of risk management aspect of my trading. For sure. The 10-minute candle closure, my stops should be up here, but I've added too much risk. I need to watch why I'm doing it. If we get stopped out, we get stopped out. It is what it is. There's not much we can do about it. I think I've been on the charts too much. I'm a little tilted. I'm just going to let this trade pan out. Do what it needs to do. If all these accounts get locked out today, it is what it is. We come back tomorrow, try again. Still got this 150K to run for US session. And I think maybe, I see a lot of people say this, that usually on days with CPI and PPIs coming out, you're not really seeing too much of the move until that news event does come out. Maybe that's the case as well, that just leave London on the days where there's big red folder news events and just come for US session. Gives me a bit more of my day back too. I can spend this time doing other things rather than being on the charts. Wait and see if we get this push, but we'll keep monitoring it and taking you guys with us. We're back. So we got very close to our stop. I wanted to adjust it, but just leaving the trade. Everything's pre-planned. Set it where it is. Watching the 10-minute chart on my left, that will indicate when we're getting out. Got this hourly busy we're potentially contesting with. If we get down there, we'll move stops to this swing high, break even, and we'll just see what the trade wants to do. There's a lot of spots that we could come back and fill, which is daunting, but let's run with the process. Looking at the last 10-minute candle, like it's actually this guy right here. So we'll just wait and see what sort of closures we're going to get. I don't really want to see all this wick and then come right back up. Just trying to pinpoint where we might be going. Still a long way down. We're our busy in here. That first hourly busy. See how we react. Higher time frame. Nice bullish closure on the 3 if we hold for this last 10 seconds. Pretty bullish closing candle here. Just waiting for this 5 minute. Stops can go to break even now as we're close to this level. We wouldn't want this closing back here. But again, it's 4. Usually 4 is the main move of the day before obviously US session. So expecting lower prices for the time being, and just the same thing that we did the other day. If we are in a winner and this wants to floor, let's try to capture the full move rather than being emotional. Keep adjusting our stops to the way that we have been doing so far. Again, we're still in this candle, so stops should still be here. As tough as that is, if we have to wear the loss, we have to wear the loss. We've cut it down from where it was, like up here, about $100. So I think I'm just going to lock myself out again if that is the case. It's a little bit under than the max loss, but that's enough. I think I'm going to be too emotional and be chasing price at that point. Let's just wait and see what price would like to do here. Watch the micro time frames and then zoom out if we are getting these big pushes. Last 30 seconds before the 5-minute closes. I haven't seen any reversal indications. Still closing quite bearishly. Likely to continue lower. Watch this last 15 seconds on the 3 seconds. Okay, we get the close below. That's what we want to see, and hopefully continue melting from this point. Check in 5-10 minutes. Keep doing what we need to do. All right, we are back a few minutes later. We are at this hourly SIBI, contesting this area. I'll leave it on the 5 or see this volume imbalance holds. Now this low didn't take out this previous low, it didn't close below it. So stops shouldn't be moved to here, it's still resting here. If we can take out this low, then my stops should be at break even automatically now. Should be at break even because we tapped this area. We are extremely bullish, so if we do come back up in here, more than likely it's going to be just to run and continue. I think it's fine where it is. If we're pushing that back up, it should have taken out all of this and continued to run. Let's wait and see how this last minute goes. If we can push lower and close below, stops are where they need to be. If we can take this low, it's adjusted here, it's giving it enough room to fully move. All right, we're back. We are spooling past this hourly, which is good. The stops can come back. We're on a 15-minute now. Gone below. This low is only closed, so it's now at this high. Excuse me. Break even. Just gonna watch the 5, monitor these levels. Take this one right here. And just gonna let this one ride for the most part. Just seeing where this is. I'm gonna use this 15-minute high. We do have a 15-minute BC in here, so we move down these BC levels on where we should expect this from here. We've got a 4-hour hourly, and we've still got pockets in here, which we could potentially run down for. So just going to draw a fib on this move here. Swing low to swing high. Approaching the 62 retracement level with this 15-minute BC as well. So just got to be mindful around here if price does want to reverse on us. But I think ahead of PPI, that's probably the catalyst to send us to higher pricing. With weekly profiles, we shouldn't see a massive downward move. We might fill out some, but I think that daily BC level is probably where the turning point is. This 4 hours looking pretty good for a reversal around here. I'm just going to make this one red so it stands out more. Checking the daily to see if we have any points. Yes, we do have this daily level as well. It is thunderstorming. So we have this daily level here now too. So just watching to see if we can come down there. Keep it on the 5-minute for now, and we'll check in a bit. Back again, change shirts 3 times. Still contesting at the 62 level, signs of reversal coming in. Checking on the 15. Ideally stop at this swing high on the 15. So we'll just make that adjustment, see how price wants to react. Off this expansive move, we're at about 62% retracement. But ideally wanting to take all of this out, to be honest, pre-news, and then bouncing off one of these levels. Ideally the daily BC. This is where the trade should be coming off. To be honest. So that's where the majority of that trade should be popping off there. And if we can come all the way down for fill, incredible. That'll be our max we can win for the day. If not, it is what it is. Let's check a lot of time frames. 5, 3. See if we've got any. We've got some imbalances all the way back up in here, which might run for. So if we get that, we get that. It is what it is. Ideally, that 5 minutes should be it. the high of this candle here. 326. It is looking like a bit of a reversal here on the 10-minute. We've closed strongly bullish. So more than likely we get stopped out and we back at this 15. Get stopped out here. We'll just wait until London unless something obvious pops up in here. Alright guys, we are back. It is 8:30 right now. We're in a short trade. I couldn't control my tilt. Mass loss limits helped today, but I tried to take the 150k combine. I didn't realize a $300 loss limit. Went heavy on size, locked out. Took two combines together, hit max loss limit on those. Two left. This one hanging on by a thread. Stops at break even here. Looking for downside continuation to daily busy. Hopefully bounce back and push up for the all-time highs. At least 9:30 CPI. Have that news candle run down. And that's the plan for now. Stops are at break even. Bit of a big L day following a really good win a few days back, but that's okay. It's okay. Trying to get that out of my head. We also had this account from this afternoon. We put that lockout in place, which in hindsight I should have done for all the accounts. At least there's silver linings. At least there's some slither of me doing the right thing. That's fine. I'm fighting every urge because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. If it's not perfect, why would I want to do it or upload it? I'm just trying to get that out of my mindset and be real, be vulnerable, show when I make mistakes to learn from that. Definitely watching pre 9:30. We get out of the trade if we're still in at like 9:25. Just keep that rule 5 minutes before or after, whatever. So not entering trades 5 minutes before or after major news or any news in general. Volatility, you can't control where it's going to go. But look here, if we can get past this busy, I don't like this wick and this push up. So we're just going to adjust our stops here, I think. Maybe take this swing high actually. Body up here. It's a pretty big bullish candle. I don't think we're done yet for this downward move. More than likely we're just repricing. Just got to be a bit cautious. Probably might tap up into here before coming down once more. Take out these lows. But here's all our key levels for today. So we'll just clean up the chart. We're coming again fresh. I'm here a little early. I should be here at 12:30. You know what? I'm gonna stick to my rules. 9:30, I'm gonna come back. Leave that as it is. I think we just took off $8 or something. At least it's some form of profit. More than likely, we're gonna tap up into here, continue going down. Yeah, wow, what a sell-off. And if we had just held on rather than adjusting and moving partials, I think that runner that we had going, these are the targets that we had outlined. I think I was just not confident in myself today. Wearing that first loss, probably coming at around two, and just having strings of losses. Even if they're small, it still just plays with me at the moment. So, yeah, a lot of lessons learned today. I guess that's why they say sometimes like losses are better than winning all the time. Because now I have this information to come tomorrow with and hopefully be better than today. That's the goal. We can just be better than today, and that just starts by showing up at 4 and showing up at 9:30. If I can just do that for the day, we're sweet. So just check the 15 and I'll see that rule of every time we break new lows, put the stops at old highs and see whether we actually hold true to that. So look, again, it's really hard because the 10-minute is probably a chart that I should be using, and I'll just check the 10 on here. So yeah, we do have a wick above old highs at around this level. So it probably would have been stopped that early anyway, rather than just letting this one go. But that's part of it. Once again, there's not too much we can do about that. At 8:30 open, see a nice displacement, still respecting this SIBI in here, closing below. So for now, sellers are definitely still very much in control. We've got this SIBI in here that we discussed before. If we can get there pretty quickly, still be keen to take that trade and run it down to the daily VISI. But again, this reversal candle isn't looking too hot. It's probably one of the first that we've actually seen for this whole time. Every other bearish candle, I mean, we do have these small ones in here, which we do just come down to fill anyway. But again, not doing anything. We'll come back at 9:30. Stick to the plan. Let's get it.